Hi people, welcome to Kat's Intuition. I'm Krystal Kat, and in this video I am going to share with you an oracle deck that I am excited about. My daughter and I went out and about shopping yesterday and came across this, and I will get into all the reasons why I'm extra excited about it. The Archeo Cards. So, very specifically, this is said by the creator not to specifically be an oracle deck. That is why on here it's just called the personal archetype cards. Nowhere on here does it say oracle deck. This is so very weird for me to be drawn to this artwork because this is just not my aesthetic, not my thing. But this and another deck I'm going to mention, it just works. It's hard to explain. The inside of the box, nice little pull ribbon. In the box, there is a guidebook. I actually took time to read the intro to this deck. The inside is very nice. This deck, it consists of 40 cards, but it comes with 2 blank cards that you can create your own archetypes. It gives you a nice table of content. They do go over layouts and spreads, growing and expanding your Archeo tales, and about the creator. So Archeo is a word that the creator said that he himself made up, but he goes into why he named it that and how there are so many different archetypes and that, you know, all of them cannot be listed and things like that. So this is a deck for wanting to really look within. And I have already come up with ideas on very specific readings that I'm going to offer based over this deck. I love the way this book is worded. The way he explains things is so beautiful. Now, I have the Wild Unknown Pocket Archetype cards, and while these are both archetype decks, they feel completely different. So I just wanted to mention that because if you're like, well, I already have an archetype deck. Yes, but they just hit differently. All right, so let's get into this. I just want to show you briefly what the book covers so that we can get into the good stuff, which is the cards. So as you see here, for each and every card, you're going to get a full page dedicated to showing you the picture on the card. Now, the cards are a really great size. They're almost the same size as the picture in the book. So you're going to really see the image very clearly, but you still get the full-size image. They give you the title of the card, so for instance, Alchemist, then the attribute of that, and it gives you a little write-up on that. Then it goes into the persona of that archetype, and some have more than others. I like that it doesn't feel like, oh, I have to come up with words to say because I have to fill up this space right here, or I have to leave things out because I only have this space. So I like that as well. And they do that for each and every card. Now, as I mentioned, in the back is where I mentioned the layouts and spreads. They don't lay out the spreads like other books do, you know, where they show you the pictures of exactly where to go or to where to place it. It's much more open and free than that. Then it goes into growing and expanding your Archeo. It gives you certain questions that you can ask. Building an internal country for your Archeo to inhabit. I really love it. I usually don't. Oh, and then in the back of the book, the writer has given you a short little tale for each card. And he is very specific. What I love is the attention to detail that this creator puts into his work, into the book, into all of his words. He even said that he purposely only wrote 100 words for each little tale that he writes for the cards. And because in the book you will find he tells you exactly why. So there's just feels like everything was so fully thought through. Everything has a rhyme and a reason. It's not just, oh, whatever. No, it shows that he put a lot of thought into it. Yes, so that is the book. Now, the cards. The backs, I will say, not really my favorite. I would have liked more of a full image in the card, but I will say that I do like the way this kind of zeroes you in right there in the center. So Yeah, it's a nice calming blue. Not a lot of colors going on in this deck. I have already shuffled it, but it does not come numbered. It will come to you in alphabetical order, and that is how you will find it in the book. Now, really quickly, I'm going to say I absolutely love this deck. When I saw it, I immediately was like, oh my goodness, are these the same creators of the other Oracle deck that I absolutely love, the River Oracle? And it was, and so I'm like, yep, that is why I'm drawn to this. So even though this is so out of my normal aesthetic, for instance, something like this right here is totally me. The black, the red, the skulls, the hauntingly beautiful art. Even though it is not this, I absolutely love these. Now, unlike the other Oracle that I love so much, this one does have titles on the cards. The other one does not. I will just show you briefly because I am referencing it, saying the other Oracle. This is the one that I'm talking about. I've mentioned it many, many times. Oh, I have it upside down. I have it. I've mentioned it many, many times. I absolutely love this deck, but I will be doing a side-by-side of these in another video and going over a lot of other details. I just thought that if I did it all in this one, it would be way too long of a video. So I really like that even though this does have titles, that it's not so bold and in your face, you know, it's hidden or located in different spots on the cards. And again, remember, this is not necessarily to be used as an oracle or for divination or things like that, but you can use it however you want to use it. I'm only saying what the creator said in the book. So as you will see, it does stick pretty strictly, I would say, to a specific color palette. This one is Metamorph. Really like it. There's just so much in these cards that you can get so many hits off of. You know, and I have mentioned when speaking of the other deck how I have never been drawn to collage work, whether it come to oracle decks, tarot, art. I'm very creative. I draw and create and craft and do all that, but collage has never been my thing. But these decks, they are the contrary to that rule, to that liking. I am in love with them. So here we have Demon. See here, all these little details fading off into the background. And you will notice, again, as I mentioned, that color palette now that you're seeing more cards. That's why I said almost strictly they stuck to it, because it's the same shades, the same everything. And don't you just love, like I said, that the keywords, or not keywords, I'm sorry, the titles are just there to blend in to the artwork without being so bold and in your face and having their own little space at the bottom or the top or whatever. Especially this one. Because there's already so many like little numbers and words going on. Very hidden. This reminds me, is it the Magician card in... Ooh, there is a card like this for the Magician in another deck. Is it Remembering the Sweet Fool? Ooh, I don't know. I cannot. There's just an image like that that I know I have seen in one of my decks. Why can't I think of it? That has these little images at the fingertips like that. At least I know it's something very similar to that one. Again, you notice that color palette throughout all of these cards. And the big size of these are so nice. Let me grab a card for comparison. So here I have a standard oracle card. I mean, tarot card. Sorry guys, I may be a little fumbly around my words. I've had such an awful headache all day, but I have wanted to be productive and it hasn't been going well. So you can see the size difference there. Now this is a standard tarot card. Sure, many of you may have the Crow Tarot. These cards themselves are also a bit bigger than your standard tarot. They're a little bit different and you can see the difference there. So you are really going to be able to see the detail in these cards quite easily, because while it's collage, it's very, I don't know if this is a thing, but it feels like minimalistic collage. Is that a thing? If not, I'm making it a thing. I'm making it a category. Minimalistic collage, because that's what this feels like to me. There's lots of things that your eyes can be drawn to, but it isn't overwhelming you. It isn't stupid, crazy, busy. It's just good, and it just works for me in readings. Like, would I want to hang something like this on my wall? No. Do I want to be surrounded by this kind of artwork? No. But for some reason, I can just read with these so well, and the artwork does not bother me at all. I don't know. I feel like I don't even know how to articulate it, and it's me that it's happening to, or it's me that I'm trying to describe, but I can't. So this one is a very pretty one. I would really like to know your thoughts on these cards. Do you have this deck? It's not a brand new deck. I know I'm speaking about it as if it's brand new. It's new to me, but you know, and I hadn't even seen this deck. And I have the other one. But I just didn't know about this one until I was walking past it, like I said, at the store with my daughter, and I was like, "Oh, hold up, let me see that." And I don't just want to pull any and every deck that I see in, but this, just like the River Oracle, it's like it whispered, "Krystal, look over here," and it just latched onto me. That's what happened with the Oracle, with the River Oracle. I was walking by at a local shop I was doing readings at, and I just thought, oh my goodness, what is this? Even though I wasn't drawn to the artwork, it wasn't my normal aesthetic. And I know, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself. I just, I guess I myself haven't even accepted how strange this is for me. Do any of you have, or has, you see, here I can't talk, my head is really hurting. Has this happened to any of you? I would really like to know. Let me know your experience. What deck has latched itself to you that is so outside of your normal aesthetic that even you find it weird? What deck is that for you? And if you have, I'm shedding. If you have this deck, I would also be very interested to know. Love this up here. What deck is that for? Oh, this deck. I was saying, if you have this deck, I would be really interested to know if you read it just like you would an oracle. I mean, I know how I use it, but yeah, we'd just like to know. I like this one. This one looks like something out of a kid's storybook, doesn't it? It's so soft. It's different from these weird ones. I really like that one. This one, his face is so ugly. I mean, what in the world? It's really ugly. I like this one too, a lot. This one's also kind of weird. I really love this one. This is our first card. This is the Alchemist. I think it's so pretty. That cat has the weirdest face. So there are the cards, and as I said, it does come with 2 blank cards so that you can collage, paint, draw, whatever you want on those. So these are, as I mentioned, larger than normal, so it may be a stretch, but it's not a very thick, meaty deck. This is only, I believe I said 40 cards, and I mean, you could always shuffle them long ways like that, but I find that I can manage. I do not have big hands, and I can manage, so I think it's okay. I don't riffle shuffle my cards, so I can't speak to that. I don't know if that would be difficult because they're large, but yeah. They do have a bit of a, they're not super crazy glossy, but they're not matte either. They're just like semi-gloss, I would say. All right, so now let me just flip some over so you can see what it would look like if you were doing a reading with multiple cards in this deck. Oh, I thought it was out of frame. I'm not. Oh, headaches, you guys, headaches. They're awful, awful, awful. So you see, you're not going to have many unless you have big, solid pieces of color, but you're not going to have any big color variations because of how I said they stuck so strictly to this color palette. But you know, I like that. Sometimes you want a mellow deck, and even though this one is funky in imagery, and even though it's different by being a collage deck. I don't feel like this is an overwhelming deck. I think that if you wanted to sit down and do a calm reading, you're in a calm state of mind, maybe you're trying to just get your mind off of things, this would be a great go-to deck for that. This is most definitely a calm rainy day deck when you make yourself a hot cup of yummy delicious coffee or a yummy cup of tea, and you just want to sit there, and when you really don't even have specifics to read about, you kind of just want to know what's up. You just want to know what the cards have to say to you. This is definitely that. And also, like I was saying, for, you know, those rainy days or comforting days, this could be that. This could be where you ask questions about yourself, all that kind of thing. It's just so, it's going to lend itself really, really well to that. And I can't wait to do more. I already have filmed some readings that go along with the theme of this deck, and I'm really excited about it. And that's what I was saying, even though I have another archetype deck, it didn't inspire me the way this one did. Even though that one that I brought up already, the Wild Unknown, is actually very funky itself, not only in shape but in artwork. I mean, this is a really strange deck, right? The images are, well, kind of crazy. They're very out there, very, very different. This deck stands out, and so does this one. But they both hit differently. And I really like that because I already have plans in how I want to use these in conjunction with each other in the readings. And oof, I'm just excited, and I love when, you know, I can bring in a new tarot or oracle deck and I can love it for the artwork, I can love it for the feel, I can be excited because it's new, all of that. But then there's those ones that sometimes just hit you differently, right? It's like they tickle this part of you that sparks that new inspiration, and that's everything. That is what makes it even more fun, even more interesting, and it gets you pumped up to work with it, right? So can't wait to get all of that out there, and let me know your thoughts on this, please. I would really like to hear what you think of it. Are you working with it? Do you have it? Do you want it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let's talk about it. Tell me all the things. So that was the Archeo cards. Nothing but love. Bye.